Hello, Sula here from MistyHilltops.com. Thanks for stopping by. In this video I'm working on a scrapbook layout that I titled Up High, and I'm using a pretty old digital scrapbooking kit from Kristin, Cronin-Barrow, that's called Reach for the Sky. I'm scrapping a couple of pictures, and I am scrapping a 6x6 double page spread, so in reality obviously it would be 6x12. So I have two pretty large background pattern papers that I'm using here, and then another strip, and they you see I am working so they are not exactly the size of the 6x6 page. They are actually going to go across the two pages there, the center of the page, and I feel free to work with the left side there because I already have an idea about the distance that I need from the edge, so to create that edge there, or that border around, which I wanted to have that effect of having the white paper in the background. So here now I have to make sure that when I glue up, and that's why I wanted to have that other strip first, because I need to now pay attention to line up the two pages pretty well so that everything works, and not to move the two pages. Sorry, my head is a little in the way, but that's what happens if I have to work with a lot of precision there. And then obviously this is quite misleading because it's not the center where the two larger pieces are separated, so I am cutting apart the two pages just to make sure that I know where the center of the page is and not get misled. So I'm starting with a cutting apart of the page pretty early, which usually I do at the very end, because it makes it easier if the pages just can be treated as one. It's not slipping and sliding here and there. But in this case I felt it was going to be much easier for me if I kept the two pages apart, with that little strip there being on the right page still. So here I have another pretty large piece of paper that will be for my photo mat, and it is all of these are pretty light colored papers, and even though it is a thoroughly patterned paper with all the florals there, but I felt the florals weren't so distracting that I couldn't use them as a background for my page. And that's the nice thing, I create my pages, especially with digital scrapbooking products, that I create them in silhouette, and so I can see what works or not, even because I can even bring in the photos. Usually I don't bring in the photos. It's just as easy as bringing in the papers, but still I just don't want my file sizes to get too large and all that. But anyway, it is nice to work in Silhouette Studio and there create everything, because I get an idea of whether it works with contrasting the papers and all that. Anyway, here now I am now ready to put down the first couple of photos, and as usual I start from the center, because in the center is where the photos will be together, and there will be an edge on the right and the left side, so it's always easier for me to start from the edge that's on the left, in the center there of the double page spread. And then I have this line of 3 photos that will go down the middle there, and then I have more photos and more embellishments. Most of my embellishments I create myself, because especially when I work with digital scrapbooking kits, they often have photos of things, and I don't like working with photos of embellishments. I actually like using the actual embellishment. But you see there's that balloon on the right side there. That actually came with this digital scrapbook kit, and so I just fussy cut that out and printed it with the rest of the papers, and then cut it out, and it'll go on my page. And then I already put a cloud, because I often forget to put something underneath that needs to go behind somewhere, and so while the paper wasn't glued too heavily on the page yet or stuck fast to it, I still slid that cloud there underneath there at the right bottom right corner there. And then there's that cloud. It's a die cut cloud that will go to the corner there on the left side of the photo. Not really the corner, but it's going to be one of my clusters, and I felt it was working pretty well with that cloudy background paper there. And then here I can add my other embellishments. There's some word art pieces that I also took from the digital scrapbooking kit, and then obviously I often use my own word art pieces, but here once again I created specifically for this page, I created a couple of word strips. That's easy to do, and there's always space on my print pages where I can slip in some few word strips here and there, and they obviously go with exactly the same color that the kit comes in, whereas if I use my freebie word strips, they're usually generic colors or just colors that I just randomly picked. But I can make sure that I also pick colors that come with this digital scrapbooking kit. And then I have created this title that says Up High, and it's a die, alpha die, that comes with a corresponding stamp, and the stamp is where I can just stamp. It's very thin alpha, but I love the way it looks, and it turned out the stamping turns out much easier than I thought it would be. I thought the stamping would be off a lot more, not centered and all that, but I find it's not even hard to stamp onto these tiny bits of letters there. I do first cut the letters and then stamp on it. I find that is much easier than me first stamping and then trying to line up the letters while I run it through my die cut machine. It just my plates are badly bent, and it displaces things on the plate and all that, so it's much easier for me if I just have the letters and then stamp on them. I can control it better that way. So here I have more word strips and word pieces that come from this kit that I'm adding to the page. And one more thing I wanted to add to the title there, same as any flower or the butterflies that I'm using. As usual, or not usual, but a lot of times I do print a small strip of paper where I pick the color from the digital scrapbooking kit, because I don't have the same color cardstock, solid cardstock, so I create my own solid color cardstock basically, and that's where I cut my alpha from, or my title from, and then I stamped the butterflies and had those cut those with one of my dies, and the flowers, anything goes well with that. So that's the beauty. I can always create my own cardstock, and I only create a small strip because I don't need much, and I usually end up using it all, but it just works out well for my pages that way, that I can use colors that exactly coordinate with my page. Anyway, this is my page done. I'm going to leave you with some more close-ups. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Consider subscribing, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.